guys, Shaz Court here, and for today's practice we're actually just going to be doing a little bit of a 10-minute stretch. Really the purpose of the stretch is to loosen up the body, make you nice and limber, so it's a really great stretch to do first thing of the morning. So with that being said, no further ado, why don't we come to a nice comfortable seated position. You're not going to need a block for today's practice, however we are sitting on some blocks. And take your variation of a nice comfortable seated position. So if you want to sit cross-legged, that's perfectly okay. If you want to sit in Virasana, hero's pose, on sitting on the heels of the feet, that's also okay. And so to begin today's practice, we are just going to interlace our hands, push out our hands in front of us. And as we breathe in, we are going to follow the hands, bring the gaze up towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, we are just going to lower them down. So we're just going to take 5 rounds like that. So breathing in, lengthening through the sides of the body. And as we exhale, we will lower. Beautiful. Let's take 4 more. We've got 2 more to go. Last one. And then just release the hands back to the thighs. And now this time you're going to take your left hand and place it onto the right cheek and just gently begin to tilt the head over towards that left shoulder. So we're just feeling that beautiful neck stretch through the right side of the body. Maybe closing down the eyes, not applying too much force here. It is just a gentle stretch. So let's stay here for 3 more breaths. Let's take 1 more breath together. And slowly coming back to center, release that left palm down. Let's take it over to the opposite side. So right palm will come up to the left cheek and gently draw that right cheek towards the right shoulder, ever so gently, opening through the left side of the neck, feeling that beautiful stretch. Let's take 3 breaths here. Let's go ahead and take 1 more breath. And slowly come back to center, release the palm back to the thigh. And now let's just take 5 shoulder rolls. So just beginning to draw the shoulders up towards the ear and then gently release them down. So just taking nice circles, slow and controlled. And just warming up the body. Let's go ahead and take 1 more. And then release. All right, place the right palm down to the mat. You might like to bend through that right elbow and then sweep that left arm up overhead and just begin to feel that stretch through the left side of the body. Let's take 1 more breath here. And as you exhale, float to the other side. So left palm comes down, bend through the left elbow, sweep that right arm up and over. Stay for a full breath. And as you exhale, right palm comes down. We're going to take 2 more on either side. So just moving with that breath. Last one. And slowly coming back to center. And we are going to make our way into a tabletop position. So if you did have a block underneath your tailbone, just gently remove that. Let's come straight into our tabletop. Cat and cows is honestly one of my favorite ways to warm up the body and feel a juicy stretch. So grounding down through the palms of the hands as we breathe in, lift the crown of the head, open through the chest, gaze comes up towards the sky. As we exhale, draw the chin to chest, dome through the back, really over accentuate the pose. Breathe in, crown of the head lifts, gaze comes up. And as you exhale, round through the spine, chin to chest. Let's go ahead and take 3 more using your own breath. One more. And just coming back to a neutral spine. Gaze is down between the palms of the hands. And this time we are just going to bring that left leg out over towards the left side, planting that foot into the ground. Just straightening out through that left leg. And once we're here, we're just going to begin to bend through that left knee and just begin to circle through the hips. So we're going to take about 3 in one direction. Again, just a really nice movement to do in the morning or whatever time to loosen up through those hips. Let's take 3 more in the opposite direction and then come back to stillness. 1 more. And then finding that stillness. From here, we're going to do a tricky little pose. We are going to inhale, sweep that right arm up to the sky. Again, follow the gaze, draws up towards that right palm. And as you exhale, you're going to draw that right arm underneath your left arm and bring that right cheek to the earth. Now from here, you can bring that left arm out in front of you, or if you would like to take a half bind and bring that left palm to the inner crevice of the right hip, go ahead and do so. Opening through that chest. Gaze might like to come up towards the ceiling. I'm going to take 3 breaths here. Let's take 1 more breath. Ever so slowly unraveling, bringing that left palm back down. As you inhale, sweep that right arm back up to sky. And then exhale, release that right palm down. Bring that left knee back into your tabletop position. Take a moment to reset. Let's take it over to the opposite side. So drawing out that right leg now, making sure that right foot is grounded to the earth and bending through that right knee and just taking a few circles. 3 in one direction, and then go ahead and take 3 in the opposite direction. One more together. Coming back to stillness. And this time you are going to inhale, sweep that left arm up to sky. Follow the fingertips. And as you exhale, draw that left arm underneath the right shoulder. Again, option to draw that right arm out in front of you. Or if you would like to take your half bind, bring that right hand to the inner crevice of that left hip. Let's go ahead and take 3 breaths, opening through the chest, drawing that shoulder back. One more breath together. And then slowly unraveling, placing that right palm back down. Inhale, sweep that left arm up to sky. And as you exhale, plant that left palm down. Draw that right knee back in. Just coming to sit down onto our bottoms now, extending the legs out in front of us. We're going to make our way into a seated forward fold. Now there's a couple of options here. If you're feeling super tight in your hamstrings, go ahead and grab a block and place it underneath your tailbone. So it's only a variation. You don't have to take this option. I'm just feeling super tight in the back of my hamstring, so I'm going to take this modification. And as we breathe in, we're going to sweep our arms up to the sky. And as we exhale, we will forward fold and allow our torso to hinge forward over the legs. Once you arrive, maybe take an inhale, halfway lift, open through the chest. And as you exhale, begin to fold and just release that neck. Let's take 5 breaths here. Noticing if you can just allow that breath to soften you. If you need to bring a micro bend to the knees, go ahead and do so. And let's go ahead and take 1 more breath together. And as you inhale, slowly rise back up, drawing the arms back up to the sky, re-lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, place the hands beside the hips, Dandasana. So for me, I have to come up onto my fingertips. The goal is just to lengthen. Let's stay here for 1 more breath. And as you exhale, remove that block from underneath you. We're going to take a reverse tabletop, so reversing the motion essentially. So bending through the knees, making sure the feet are hip width distance apart. Have those palms behind the back, fingertips facing forward. And as you breathe in, draw the pelvis up to the sky. Now the option is here to keep the gaze out over the navel, or if you are feeling loose through the neck, you can gently release the neck behind you. And just stay here for 3 breaths. Let's take one more breath here. And on the exhale, slowly release back down to the earth. Hug the knees into the body. And just taking a little egg of the universe, curling up into a nice little ball. And we'll finish off today's practice with a supine twist. So extend that left leg long and draw that right leg over the left. Keep that right palm grounded down behind you. And as you breathe in, sweep that left arm up to the sky. An option to hook that left elbow over the right knee, or maybe you just want to hug it in. So wrap it around that right knee. And then the gaze comes out over towards the right shoulder. Close down the eyes. Let's hang out here for 5 breaths. Take one more breath. On the next inhale, slowly come back to center. Take a moment to pause here. And let's swap over to the opposite side. So extend that right leg, draw that left leg in, cross the left leg over, and place that left palm down behind you. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. As you exhale, either hook that right elbow over the left knee or just hug it in. And gazes out over the left shoulder. And we'll take 5 breaths here. Closing down the eyes and softening through the body. Let's take one more breath. And on the next inhale, coming back to center. Hugging both knees back into the body, giving yourself one final hug. And then just coming to a seated position and getting on with our days, yogis. I hope you enjoyed this little quick 10-minute stretch. Namaste. So 10 minutes is the goal. Let's see if I can stick to this.
Can I have my water bottle in it or not?
No. I don't have a clock. Shaz and Court here.
Hello.
Hello.